get mad at me for singing Erykah Badu. Who knows? Imagine I'm banned. They're like, we heard that voice, we recognized it. They think I'm as good as Erykah Badu. That'd be crazy. Woohoo! I finally managed to schedule a live stream in my day. That's freaking crazy. Hello, stream elements. Oh, how do I get this guy up? I need like a... I just realized while doing this that something like a flower nail would honestly be amazing. Got polymer clay. And I have flower nails. They're in my kitchen. And the 1 or 2 times every 3 years that I will want to use them, I want them to not have polymer clay on them. So maybe I should invest in a couple of flower nails for clay. This is what I've made so far to get into the groove. He's very cute. I'm not sure if this is going to be a bag charm or a necklace. But I need to condition some clay because the next thing I'm making is I want to do some more ethical oddities because I really loved making ethical oddities when I did that little bat. And I have a great idea for a Valentine's ethical oddity because I'm currently working on a Valentine's Day drop for my Etsy store. Slay. Ah, I may need to make a photo frame later today. So, but I sort of need to know how big these guys are going to be before I do that. The photo frame will not have glass because I don't know if I have any glass I can cut. But that's where we're at so far. I also don't know if these gems can go in the oven, but I'm pretty sure that the way jewelry makers do it, the way jewelry makers do it is they'll like carefully pull them out before they go in the oven. And I just need to remember where each little guy goes. Oh, wait, now multi-stream is allowing me to send a chat. That's so cool. That's so cool and fun and fresh. This is the way that I enjoy conditioning clay. I feel like there are other and probably better ways to do it, but those ways are not the way I'm doing it. Oh, I like that I just scratched my neck and it went red. That's cool. I've never noticed that before. Is that normal? Or am I just allergic to myself? Oh, I also just realized that I think I forgot to dust off the baking powder that not literal baking powder, the baking, like face makeup baking powder that I put on my face before I started this stream, so that's also cool. Yup. She's making a snail. Okie dokie. That feels pretty conditioned. Right, now I need a little reference for a mouse. Yep. I know how I want them to look in my brain. I want 2 little Mises that like are kind of top-down vision, and I want their tails to be going into a little heart. Oh, I could do one on each side. That's a good reference, I think. This is someone's like needle felting work. And I'm gonna do, I don't know how to needle felt. but I want to do these guys. Oh, I will probably need eye Capricorns unless I choose to do non-realistic eyes. So I'm kind of doing mine out of a combo of felt and faux fur, and felt, faux fur, and clay. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. But I think I want mine to be like all white and like almost like Siamese cat coloring, because I did an image of a Siamese cat. I painted one with gouache like a year ago. I really liked it. Love Siamese cat coloring. Maybe I should have looked up a tutorial for how to sculpt a mouse, because I don't think I have ever sculpted one. I have drawn one, I have embroidered one, but I don't think I've sculpted one. Kind of looks like he's got a little... Okay, I think I get the theory. I don't even know what their skull shape looks like, so there's that. Or is it a cat skull, actually? I don't know why I'm whispering. Sometimes I start whispering when I'm working, when I'm doing art stuff. Looking at my to-do list right now. It's long. This is part of it. Okay. So he's got a nose, and with his nose he also has little chubby cheeks. Cheekses. I might not get it perfect before the first bake. Because I almost never do. Okay, he's got little chubby cheekses up here. Cheekses. Little nose. And then he'll have a little brow bone. And I feel like it's always better to use way too much clay and just squish it in, because then you have the opportunity to save it if you wreck it. Well, eyes. Okay, it is kind of looking like a mouse. I feel like I won't do ears out of clay. I'll do them out of fabric, but I may make a little template or something just to get a better idea. Okay. He needs a little chin. Or do I wait to do a little chin later? And just start now shaping him. I think I start shaping him. It is likely that it'll go very, very quiet, but if you're lurking, say hello. I'm not even watching myself on another device, as is the modus operandi for most streamers. I'm always way too lazy for that. She's a lazy girl. Do I need an even smaller gun? An even smaller one is what I meant. Nose need to be longer. Oh, one of the things I need to add to my to-do list is to start looking at craft markets and how craft market. I'm going to text my sister. I'm going to text her and ask her as a mental note, how do you apply to markets? Question mark. Did you need to send product pics? Because that will probably encourage me to actually take product photos. Because the 40 or 50 bucks I get from Etsy each sale apparently is not enough motivation for me. I'm hungry. Every time I stream, I start getting really hungry. Another thing I need to remember to do is figure out how to hook my iPad up to my computer so that I can do some art streams that aren't just painting. I like painting streams, but hello, I see that the thingamabob, the little view count, has gone up to 2. So hello, how are you? What are you doing? What you up to? You don't have to say anything, feel free to lurk. Now I've lost my train of thought, whoops. I've been resurfacing my dining room table, and I thought it was going to be like a 2-day job, and it's so far taken me like a month in total. That was the first video that I started doing after I put up my Christmas video. I was like, oh, this will be simple, because we have this really old table that we got from Adrian's dad's place, which I think him and Adrian's mum bought in like the 1970s. And we had a pretty yuck dining table that I got for free off Marketplace, and dining tables are really expensive. So we hadn't gotten a new one. And said table was kind of in a bit of a state of disrepair. It's like, I think it's got solid wood legs, but it's got like an MDF top, but it's like super heavy because it has a metal mechanism, and the metal mechanism opens into making it, the metal mechanism takes it from an 8-seater to a 10-seater, I believe. But over the years of, you know, Adrian throwing parties and being a kid and life, their dining table had gotten some like water damage, and it's a veneer top, and so the veneer had like buckled and rippled and raised. And we were like, it's still like a way better table than what we have, which is now outside operating as one of my woodworking tables. So I was like, I'll resurface it, and everybody was like, that's probably not worth it because it's a veneer top. I was trying to say like veneer, like pronounce that weirdly, I don't know why. And then I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, and there was a guy who like had started his like furniture restoration. I don't really know what he does. I think his job is like furniture restoration. I think he like does that as a job now. All I can remember about his channel is that he always says my name is Barry. So if you know who I'm talking about, you know. Anyway, so I watched a bunch of his videos, and he was like doing a lot of veneer resurfacing because he started by just finding furniture on the street. And he had some cool tips. So I was like, oh, slay, I can probably do this. And then I was like, you know what? Actually, then what happened? Then I did it wrong. I sanded it wrong. I didn't sand it to get rid of the scratches. Where I'd sanded down to MDF, I had to put wood filler in. The wood filler then didn't stain, and I put the wrong color stain on. So I had to sand everything again. So it was actually good that I hadn't finished sanding when I tried that, because otherwise I might have gone through the veneer. Then what happens? After I'd gotten all of that off, I was like, we were looking at the table, and Adrian was like, oh, it looks kind of cool where it's gone black and the stain hasn't taken as well. And then he was like, honestly, everybody should get an Adrian in their life. He's great. Mine is not for sale though. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm in a mood today. What was happening? Oh, he was like, hey, these parts look cool where the stain hasn't taken, but it's gone, it's kind of like black or like dark purple. Why don't you just, instead of trying to paint the grain, because my idea was, oh, I'll just paint the grain where the stain hasn't taken. And he was like, instead of doing that, why don't you just have fun with it? Why don't you just like go crazy, you know, live your best life? So I was like, okay, slay, I'll do that. I'm down. I'm always down to go crazy with art, and more colourful and more wackadoodle, which is what I would call it. Oh, you guys can't see a thing. So then I was looking up photos of like burled wood, because some of the mistakes were looking a bit like burls, and we were like, oh, this looks cool, but this one looks bad. So I looked up these really cool like veneer butterfly effects, and then I just started painting that in, and that I think has taken just over a week to like paint it, then buff it out a little so it looked more natural, then put stain on, then put tinted, then doing like 3 or 4 layers of tinted finish, of tinted polyurethane. That's what I did. So I basically did that once or twice a day over the past couple weeks. How big is a mouse nose? I feel like it's not this big. Yeah, no, it's tiny. So maybe I use this little razor guy. Maybe he's a rat, not a mouse. But yes. That has been the vibe in so far. Pretty much since Christmas. This is looking more like a rat to me than a mouse so far. Maybe he needs to have like little chubbier undernose parts. They see me rolling. They hate it. I need water. His cheeks also might need to be chubbier. His eyes might need to be more like squishy. I feel like I should really take this time to, when I have the motivation for clay, to, what's the word? To mold, to sculpt some, what are they called? Hands for future projects. But like future Santa dolls and things like that. I am almost done with my first Santa doll, so I'm really happy. It has taken me like an entire year to make him. And lately, the main thing that has been ruining my life with him has been his shoes. So I might finish those in this stream too, if I can. Okay, that's better. It's better. It kind of looks like a snake skull right now. I do like the idea of these guys having kind of a, not like evil, but like evil look. They're very cute and chubby cheeks. And I guess I'm gonna have to make them both different to look different. Then the rest of their bodies I'm gonna do with felt, embroidery, faux fur, needle felt. No, don't have a crooked nose. That kind of thing. Making a little sausage. Chubby cheek, so. A little mouse sausage. Needs to be thicker than that. This one looks thicker than that side. Zoop, zoop. Okay. There's this like sweet spot with polymer clay where you condition it really well, because obviously you need to get it into the shape you want. But then it gets like too soft for detail work, so I think some people put it in the fridge or they'll start baking it. I don't want to start baking, but the fridge could work. Sometimes also just putting it aside for a bit helps it, like, I don't know, go back to being a touch harder. I mean, I feel like this is pretty close. Maybe I will just add a touch of turpentine to get some slurry going. Definitely been a while since I've sculpted, I'll say that. I will say that much. Yeah, I'm on a kick with wanting to finish my dining room for videos. Okay, this is looking more like a bunny. I wonder what I need to do. I think, does he need to have like a shorter face? Mice are very small. I found a very sad, like, little field mouse in our backyard. He was very tiny. I thought he was a leaf at first. Okay, well, I'll add good at sculpting bunnies into my... There we go. Okay, he needs to be more like triangular there. Way more raised up here. Yeah, okay. Raise. Triangles. What the hell is that? Got a camera clamp up there that wants to fall down. I think his little cheeks need to be pushed back. Not me ingesting terps through my fingertips. I wonder how long it takes me to sculpt these guys. I guess I started when the stream started, so I look at my stream. You know, that's actually such a good idea, because I never time myself making things. So like, when you're pricing stuff and you want to work out all wages and whatnot, knowing how long that stuff takes is necessary. Okay, he needs more skull, and he actually does need more cheek. What a fun I'm living in the dark sort of situation that's happening here. Okay, autofocus. Okay. This guy. This is supposed to go right into the nose. Oh, he went crooked. And does his little nose need to be smaller top? Because it seems that way. And on the side. And then he needs more head up here. Okay, that's better. Oh, now he's got a hairdo. That's very cool. Okay, once I get the basic structure, I'll leave him for a bit. But I think he is getting there. Leave him for a bit, do the second guy, and then work on my Santa shoe. The last piece of the puzzle for this Santa doll is doing the shoe, and I just didn't want to do it. There we go. Join this guy up and this one. He needs space for his brain, and that is something that I always forget when sculpting, and then I remember. The brain space is very important for all creatures, great and small. And then we'll brush a little tips on to melt him in. Oh, whoops, this was my pink brush. That's okay though, because I wanted this to be a... I keep wanting to say buckskin. It's just not buckskin. I think buckskin is a horse color. That's like when you have a brown horse with dark socks, right? Kind of like, I want this guy to be more like Siamese cat coloring, which is like white but with like red eyes and little brown legs. So like verging on leucistic. Maybe leucistic. Oh, that was the coolest thing. I'm just talking to myself. The coolest thing was this cockatoo recently. It was supposed to be a black and yellow cockatoo, which are, I think normally they're like all black with a yellow tail and like a few yellow feathers. But there was a leucistic one that was found in a national park in Australia. I think it was in a national park. And it got named limoncello, I don't know how to, but like the cocktail. Limoncello, I don't know. But he was so cute. He was like all yellow. He was fancy. He was all yellow. We must get his little brain melded in. I'm not doing very well at actually showing the craft. Just a girl inhaling terps at her computer. Trying to work out. Oh no, he's so uneven now. I'm trying to work out if it is okay to put this straight into my fridge or if he needs to dry out a bit first and the terps to disappear, because I feel like people keep nail polish in their fridge, but I don't know about terps. It's water-based terps, but it's still like a alcohol, right? You know what else is crazy? I can't drink because it gives me crazy anxiety these days. And I mean a drop, a cent. Even like I was having a non-alcoholic ginger beer and it randomly just got a little alcohol scent, aftertaste kind of thing to it. And I got anxiety from that. I was like, that's crazy. But turpentine doesn't give me anxiety. It must be an association thing. Oh, he's so smooth. This side looks good, I think. This side, getting there. Very hard to get these guys even. Alright, I'm gonna leave him so I don't squish him. Now we work on the other one. I think I've seen people say that they put cornstarch on their hands to prevent stickiness with clay. I don't want the cornstarch to go into the clay and dry it out. I have to look that up. Okay. Let us Google on Pinterest cute sleeping a mouse. So I don't mind their heads being turned in a different way. I think I've already got this guy, maybe. Maybe I should just make a mold of this guy. That might be a good idea. You can't tell I hate doing the same thing twice. Even though, usually the second time it's slightly better. Ooh. Oh, looks like I made a penis. Just gonna put that away. Of all the weird discussions to have with your family on Christmas, I can't remember who brought this up, but someone was talking about Michelangelo's David at like the dinner table, or the lunch table, because we do Christmas lunch, and Adrian and I were like, oh, didn't the Victorians go around and like knock all the penises off or like put leaves over them? And apparently it happened a few times during like ancient Greek culture as well, where statues just like had their genitalia knocked off. And my uncle made the joke like, oh yeah, the Vatican must have like a room full of penises. And then we were Googling it, and apparently that's a real rumor, which maybe he knew because he does know a lot about history, but I thought it was really funny. I'm trying to open my little can of soft drink. I need to go to the store today and get some apples and some like snacks that are quick and easy, because when I don't have quick and easy snacks, I don't eat. If I cast this guy in resin, I will A, have a mold that I can reuse, and I will B, not have to sculpt this twice. But should they be twins? I guess I can color them and pose them differently. But I won't be able to finish this until tomorrow because I don't have any UV deep pour resin. I only have 24-hour resin, but I wanted to make, oh, I'll need to get gloves if I do that. I'm out of plastic gloves. I wanted this to be a one-day make, but I also have to pattern his body, so it was probably never going to be a one-day make. Was there anything else on my list to make with clay, or do I move on to the shoe? I'm gonna go get the shoe, it's over here. Alright, well, this fabric's sitting on my desk because, well, because I need to. Did I bake this last night? No, but it's pretty hot. That's cool. Is this guy finished? I'm thinking I also want to make a cast of this so that I don't have to redo it. I just need to make it like smooth. This could work out very well, actually, if I just do a couple of casts. And I did also consider making a cast of this. Oh, I need to take my medication. I'm gonna go get it. I'm tapping my nose, not picking it. Just a girl and her medication. So, I was about to pick up my isopropyl alcohol and drink that to take this medication. That would have been awful. Was there anything else that was clay that I needed to make? What is on my list? Ah, there is one thing. There is one thingamabob that I'm not 100. I'm not 100 on. Okay, so that guy needs to reharden the mouse. The shoe is ready for a mold. Some of these parts that look less smooth, these will be covered with the finishing stuff, like fabrics and whatnot. He's more of, well, he's not more of a shoe last, but he kind of will act as a doll shoe last. That guy is ready to bake off once I take the gems out. And then this was also sort of supposed to be a brooch, but I think it will need to be smaller than the other one, and it's a similar vibe, but yeah, smaller. It looks much smaller. Just getting ready for the gems to come out. Some of these, I want to say cool down, but cool down is not the right word. They're taking a while to cool down. I want this heart to be rounded because it's going to be like a bottle. I have a sketch of this, I just don't know which sketchbook it is in. So I'm working off memory right now. I feel like that one needs to be a bit in, like more even. This one might be the kind of thing that also needs to be baked twice. Okay. Something I really want to... Oh, hello, Pixels. How are you? Something I also really want to make is... Oh. What was it? God, my brain power is lacking. I forgot what I was going to say. Shit. Something I also really want to make. I'm alright, how are you? I am good. I'm very good, actually. I'm having a day. I'm having a time. Oh, no, why does this look like a penis again? That's not cool. Stop being a penis. Oh, now it kind of looks like a foot. Something that I also wanted to make. I've totally forgotten. And that was not because you wrote in chat. So don't feel bad. This happens to me all the time. I've completely forgotten. God. There was something. There was definitely something. Oh, that's workable. Okay. That's a workable shape. I'm trying to make a tiny potion bottle. I should also actually work on some of the... I was going to put my Santa doll in a sleigh and I was going to have him have heaps of little toys, so I need to make mini toys, and the first ones I tried didn't really work out that well. Alright, I'm tapping my nose, not picking it. What am I making? Okay, so this morning I made this little heart. It's like, I don't know yet if it's going to be earrings or a pendant or a bag charm. I have also made this shoe, which has fluff on it, so that's cool. And it's got an ankle. The ankle is there for a reason. It's part of a Santa doll that I've spent like the last year making and still haven't finished, and this is the last thing I need to make so I can mold the feet. I'm not sure about the shoes though. And then this thing is the beginnings. I don't know if you guys, I don't know how to show. Oh, there we go. Focus. No? Okay, maybe here. That is a little mouse head, because I like to do this thing that I call ethical oddities, where I make little creatures that look semi-realistic, and then put them in, you know, the sets that people will use for like taxidermy, like terrarium kind of sets. So that I wanted to do for Valentine's Day 2 little mice that their tails are like going into a love heart on like a pink velvet or satin background in a frame. I thought that would look cool. And then this is an idea I sketched out like 6 months ago, maybe 6 months ago. Actually, I have a vlog about it on YouTube. Not just about this, but it was about other stuff for Etsy and craft markets that I want to do. But I was doing it as an ornament. It's like a love potion magic sort of bottle. The first one that I made, it didn't really work out that well because I think I made it way too big. I don't know. But yeah. But basically, I'm making some little cute little art pieces to go on my Etsy store for Valentine's Day. That's the theme. It's a little gothic and a little creepy and a little freaky. And a little spooky and kooky, because that's the vibe I like. Spooky and kooky. Do you need to bake the polymer clay? Yes, yes I will. And with the love heart, I'll have to take out all the gemstones and take a photo of it so I remember what order I put them in. But with the mouse, I haven't quite finished the smoothing out, so I need him to like settle, because I conditioned the clay a lot, and now it's a bit too soft to settle. But yeah, I usually bake these guys for about 15 minutes at 100 degrees Celsius. Yes. I remembered what it was. An octopus bookend. Yes, okay. I've had that one in the brain tank for a while. Like a big octopus that looks cool with like some wooden bookends. I think that'd be sick. But I don't have enough clay for that today. Or enough time, because I have a few other things I have to do today. And I think that is the one where I would mostly go to like Kmart and get the cheap clay and then just use this really nice clay for the details. And then probably cast it in resin. I bought a bunch of air-dried clay and carving tools last year, but haven't gotten around to doing any sculpting yet. That is always the way, isn't it? I feel like I sculpt relatively often, but it has taken me over a year to even get halfway through a pound of polymer clay. What do you use to paint it? I really like using like pastels. What are they called? Are they called chalk pastels? Like dry pastels. Then you take like a little razor blade like this and you like scrape off little chips, and then you get a fluffy like makeup brush like this, and you apply it. Because I was watching all of these like people, you know, on Pinterest who do like the most perfect sculpts ever, and it seemed that was what they used, and they got really pretty blends. But I've used acrylic paint, but sometimes that can go a little funky on polymer clay. I think it depends what paint and what sealant you use. Yes, it's a powder. I have seen people have used makeup, like actual makeup as well. And that works fine because you're going to seal it anyway. And then you do it before you actually put it in the oven, and it bakes into the clay and it stays. It's really good for when you want to do faces. Honestly, makeup would be too, because it goes on the face. So, yeah. I have some new acrylic paints, but I haven't used this brand, so I have to test that. Because polymer clay has this weird thing where occasionally it will finish really sticky. I bought acrylic brushes because I have no idea what I'm doing. They'll work fine. You don't want to use a flat brush, like, this is covered in clay, but this is like a filbert brush. You wouldn't want to use that for the powder. You just want something like this, it's fluffy, but maybe a fan brush if you've got one of those in your kit. Why is Stream Elements saying that I am doing grab tap? I am not doing grab tap. Isn't that a gambling thing? I'm clearly not playing games and never do. Anyway, I'll fix that later because I have no idea what I'm doing. I think it's because I paid for the, what do you call it? The pro version, so I could multi-stream with Stream Elements, and it's just like, hey, now you're doing this. I was like, okay, I'm not. That's fine. Don't do that. I'm pretty sure it's gambling. Imagine they kick me out now. But yeah, I think even with acrylic paints, if you put the paint on first, I have not tried this, you put the paint on first and then you bake it, it works out better. Have I ever done figure sculpting? Sort of. I haven't done full like human bodies, but I can show you. He's down here. I can find him. Does he look neat or yucky? No, he looks pretty good. I've been working on this guy. He's a Santa Claus. A Santa Claus doll. Oh, you can't even see his face. He's got a little face. So I've done faces, like heads like this. I like doing heads. As you can see, I did not want to do hands. So I made little felt mittens, and now I'm making this shoe. So I do art dolls, which you don't really need to do the body so much for. You just create like a wire form and you pat it out. Thank you. I don't plan on baking, which is why I bought the air dry clay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I like air dry clay, I like working with it, but I can't get it to not crack on me. But then sometimes my polymer also cracks, so you live and you learn. Nice mitts. I made them out of felt, and I was like, I think they need some kind of like finish over them. Because I made really good hands for him, and I liked the hands, and I was like, yeah, these hands are good. And then I realized that I had to do the other hand, and I did not want to. Which is the... Hi, Smeagol. Oh, my cat's just joined me. Which is the reason that with this shoe, I was like, I'm just going to cast it. And I made it so that, like, it can go on both feet. Ah, you use Mod Podge. Okay. Good to know. Because I always see air dry clay, and I feel like it'd be fun to use. Particularly for when, like, it gets really hot sometimes. And you don't want to turn your oven on. But I've also thought about like wax, where you can just do the wax and then just put the wax in like a mold once you're happy with it. Maybe like jewelry sculpting wax or something. Green wax, whatever it's called. But I don't think you can really get that in very large quantities. Instead of air dry clay, actually, I've been doing a lot of paper mache for big projects. And I have found that paper mache can go in the oven, I think. I did not burn my house down, but take what I say with a grain of salt. Hi, Smeagol. What are you doing up there? You can't see. He's on this little cabinet behind me. He's trying to eat plants. Don't eat plants. Where's my mouse? Hello? I get that. I hate having to replicate a particular object. Yes. It's annoying. Oh, he's licking himself. Maybe if I move my camera you can see him. Do you see him? I wouldn't want to risk putting any paper except parchment in the oven. That is fair. That is very fair. I'm not a scientist, so I won't recommend that you do it. Oh! What did you even just land on? Okay, he's fine. He's walking away. I don't know what he... Oh, he jumped onto like a little stool, and I was like, what does that sound? I also get bored quickly, and I don't have very good brainwaves. You may have been able to tell. Oh, the paper thing. So, people do use paper in the oven, like bakers and stuff, to create little molds. When I put my paper mache in the oven, I didn't go past 100 degrees Celsius, which is very low. And I kept watching it. I was like watching it like a hawk. I was like coming back every 5 minutes to make sure nothing had caught fire. And also I have an electric oven, not gas. So yeah, I don't know if you got like a dodgy gas oven. Not that gas ovens are always dodgy, but like the oven my parents had when I was growing up used to go out all the time, and you'd just have food you couldn't eat soaked in gas. It sucked. So if you've got a dodgy oven, don't do it. But I made sure to Google that everything was okay at the degrees that I put it in, and it was cool because basically I was able to do a really bulky sort of thing with a lot of paper mache. I did this big moon with a face, and then I just did the details with polymer clay, but air dry clay would also be probably better. We mainly use electric in Canada. We're going that way in Australia. My friends in USA mainly use gas, yeah. I can't remember. I think we've historically used gas because we do a lot of gas exports, I think. I know we do a lot of coal, but But because everybody's getting solar here, a lot of houses have just gone electric. Which I fully support because electric ovens are so good for baking. What happened? No. Yuck stuff. Do I have paper towels? Yes, I do. I don't do a lot of cooking. My partner does our cooking. But I love baking, and I have just found ever since using an electric oven, my baking is so much better. It's just a lot more even, I think. And I barely even bother using fan forced. I like almost never put it on. What do you bake besides clay? Well, it's mostly clay. I like to do cheesecakes, like baked cheesecakes. I did a really nice chocolate orange flavored one on Christmas. It was awesome. Cookies, gingerbread, a lot of Christmas stuff because that's usually when I get into baking. Oh, I love pies. I love making pies. Apple pie, so good. Because I can't really eat gluten, which has ruined my life. So I had to start making my own pie crust. For like, again, I'm scratching the side of my nose, not picking it. Losing thoughts again. Oh, I can't eat gluten, so I had to learn to make my own pie crusts. So I went through this phase. Oh, I've also done donuts. I made really good donuts for a bunch of friends when we had like a fire in winter a year or two ago. It was awesome. My baking is very sporadic though, that's why I say a year or two ago. I like invented this donut sauce, it was awesome. Why can't you eat gluten? Well, I'm 99% sure I have celiac disease, but in order to get tested for celiac disease, you have to start eating gluten again, and it's really painful to eat gluten. My stomach like swells up and I get like tired. I get the flu. It's really weird. I get like I get congested. But my older sister has all the same symptoms as me, and she got tested and she got diagnosed with celiac. So what I say is, because I don't have an official diagnosis, if I don't want to explain it that much, I'll just say I have celiac. If I care to explain it, I'll do this spiel. And I'm 90% sure that it's celiac because I'm also allergic to oats. Like, the same thing happens with oats, and apparently that's like because they have a really similar protein in some other grains. And sometimes they're processed with flour. Yeah, it sucks. I had no idea what was going on, and I'd mostly cut all gluten out, and then every time I went back to eating oats in the morning, I was like, oh, my stomach's swelling up again. And it would swell up like crazy, like to the point that I could not put pants on. Like, I couldn't zip up normal pants, not even tight pants. I was like, this is crazy. What is this grab tap thing? Can I like cancel stream elements? I get you though. I love baking, but I have a food allergy, so I can't eat anything with corn or rice. I had to learn to make my own recipes. Can you not eat corn flour? That would suck. Because corn flour is what I have replaced a lot of gluten with. Same with rice flour. But I guess if you're not allergic to gluten, that's okay. Yeah. Corn is in everything. So is wheat. So it's a good thing you're not allergic to both. Yeah, sugars do contain corn. Like corn syrup. Can you not eat candy? Like hard candy? And like certain chocolates have corn syrup? The ones that are confectionery? Does this mean you can't eat candy canes at Christmas? That sucks. Sorry. Oh, you're also diabetic. Oh my god, that sucks. Ugh. The food allergies are the worst. Diabetes is insulin resistance, right? Does that mean you can't eat... Yeah, you can't eat any sugar, or you can only eat a certain amount. I do have family members who are pre-diabetic. I think my dad is pre-diabetic, and my granddad was diabetic. Are there like sugar alternatives that are okay for diabetics? Because I love like this thing, this little, it's like a sugar-free soda, but I know I can't eat xylitol because I'm allergic to that. Yeah, I didn't look that much into diabetes. I did get convinced that I had diabetes for ages once, and it turned out that I had a really bad glasses prescription because I read that there was something where diabetes would affect your vision, and I was like, oh my god, this is happening to me all the time. And then I got my eyes retested, and they were like, your last optometrist sucked. Just white sugar or honey. Some golden sugar or brown sugar contains corn. That's crazy. I'm gonna look at my brown sugar and see what's up with that. Glaucoma. Yeah, it was crazy. Every time I would go to the doctor's office, my vision would go weird. And I think it's also because I'm just not used to looking at white walls, because like this room's green and I painted our house like all crazy colors. And yeah, I have astigmatism. It is in my eyes. I have astigmatism, and I was like, I was getting like weird colors and trailing vision and stuff. And yeah, as it turned out, eyesight was just terrible. Baking is therapeutic. I do love baking. I need to get back into it. You should try baked donuts if you haven't. They're awesome. Ooh, cinnamon scrolls. That's the other thing. I love baking cinnamon scrolls. It should be called eye stigmatism because it's happening in the eye. I love cinnamon scrolls. And I like baking bread. Or I used to like baking bread. When I was growing up, I would bake a lot of bread. It was so cozy. It'd be like winter. My dad invented, well, I don't know if he invented it, but he made bread, like a loaf of bread that he put dates in, and when you got it fresh out of the oven, because we didn't use a bread maker, it would be like sticky date pudding when you put a little butter on it. It was so good. No, the hole shrunk so it looked perfect. I think I know where you're going with that. That's funny. But that's actually awesome. I feel like that would pop off on some kind of like social media. Like if you did a really funny recipe or something. Call them the everything butter hole. I don't know if that works. I'm trying to do like butterface. Oh, I did love bread. I still haven't found a good recipe for gluten-free bread. I think you have to do the thing where you put the tray of water in the oven. What? No, I have never used a Pullman pan. What is a Pullman pan? Is that a bread maker? Okay, I need to make a little heart for this stopper. Oh no! Well, I guess that kind of is fine, but I don't want him here yet. So, get off, don't tweezers. Tweezers, there you go. Smeagol! Hi! My kitty's wandering around. I couldn't find it this morning. A pan with a metal lid so it creates a nice rectangular shape. Ooh. So it sort of flattens it, like in the oven. That sounds cool. Ooh. I have like a cake hacksaw, but I don't have the leveling thing. But a trick that is this for bread? Or is this for like a brownie? a trick I learned for flattening things, I think like cookies, is right when you get them out of the oven, you put some baking paper on another flat tray, or like a flat plate or something, like a pizza tray or something, and then you like smooth it over while they're still hot. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Prevents the top from forming the dome. I like the dome though. Is that weird? I like the like, it's such a cozy, it's a cozy bread. It reminds me of like little, you know, Winnie the Pooh cartoons and stuff. My parents we used to have like a wood fire when I was a kid, and we would get our bread to rise on the wood fire because you put the pan like on the wood fire. It was the coziest thing ever, watching the bread rise. It sounds like I grew up in the 1920s. It was the 2000s. It was just cool. Okay, now we've got a little heart stopper. It's just country Australia, bruh. Sometimes I'll tell people stories from my childhood and it will literally sound like I grew up in like the 1920s. Yeah, that's fair. And I guess you wouldn't get the tear out when you get that, because that dome can have all the wrinkles, and you get like annoying tear out sometimes if you don't have one of those cool like little bread miter saws, which I don't have. I should make one. But then I would need to make bread. And because of the celiac and I tried like 5 or 6 different recipes and just didn't really like any of them. The crust was too hard on all of them, and I like crust, but it was too hard. It was like not good, and I just end up getting out of the habit of eating bread. But you can get like nice gluten-free bread in stores. Have you heard of Inktober? I have. Is that where artists do 30 days, like a piece every day? Why is it called Inktober and not Arttober? Was it started by ink artists? I've always wanted to do one of those challenges, but I never have time. I'm always like running to catch up with myself. So it was started by ink artists. I know there's an Australian artist I follow who does watercolor art, although I think she's done a lot of alcohol inks and gouache lately. Very Little Peach. She does Peachtober, where she does like, oh, sorry. Go away, grab tap. In an hour stream, it's done 3. What are they called? Maybe I can open stream elements on my desktop. Will this leak stuff if I open? Okay, nothing is leaking. That's good. Let me see if I can go to stream elements. Stream elements. Love that I have caps lock on. No, I need to go to Streamlabs. Why don't I have this favorited? Streamlabs. Log in. See if I can cancel whatever the hell this thing is. Bloop. Is it an app? Oh, I'm confused. I don't know how to manage this. I think what happened was that I was just looking through the apps and I just was, but I must have turned them on. There's a music one. There's a cross-platform trap one? Chat? No. Okay, I'll do it after stream. It's fine. I was trying to fix that stupid grab tab thing, but I don't know how to do it. A few years ago, I made something small for fun called Dessert December to promote baking during the month of December. Oh, that's so cute. Using holiday prompts. Some of my friends participated and baked their own creations, which was fun. That's cool. December is definitely my biggest baking month, followed by the first month it gets like properly cold here, which is when I want to make donuts and cinnamon scrolls. I didn't make cinnamon scrolls last year at all, and it sucked. It's so weird to me though, because like cinnamon scrolls proof and they rise, and I can get them really nice and soft, but I can't get bread nice and soft. Maybe I should look at my cinnamon scroll recipe and try and translate it to bread. I'm glad the ad ended. Slay. I want this stopper to look kind of crystally, but I don't really know how to do that. But I do have a mold, so if I pour out resin later... Is cinnamon scrolls like cinnamon rolls? Probably. And honestly, I might be wrong. I just call them cinnamon scrolls. Do you use all-purpose flour or bread flour? I use all-purpose, and sometimes I make my own by mixing different, like gluten-free variants together. So I made gingerbread cookies this year by using a mix of almond flour and tapioca flour, and that actually turned out great. They were really good. I didn't actually know bread flour was a thing until I was like an adult, because I grew up in like a self-raising AP, you know, where you can see the wheat grinds kind of household. Yeah, I feel like it's necessary to combine the different flours, and depending on what you want, it's like different things. But then you also have to take into account like what's like almond flour is really wet, right? But tapioca flour and corn flour, they seem quite like they're a true dry ingredient. So when I was making those gingerbread cookies, I had to add in so much extra flour because the recipe that I was using, I was just trying to get ratios from the recipe, which seems to be what I do. And I feel like if you don't know much about baking, you're not supposed to do that. And I definitely don't know much about baking. But I'm often just looking recipes up purely for ratios. Is there like a baking textbook that is like that? I feel like that needs to be a thing. Like the home baker's textbook for ratios. But yeah, when I did those cookies, I realized that I'd put way too much water in because I forgot that almond flour is a lot wetter than regular flour because almonds are a nut which has oil. And even when it's been in a packet, it's got oil. Oh, that are just about like ratios? I have one that might work actually. My friends got me for Christmas. It's called The Very Hungry Celiac, like the very hungry caterpillar, and I thought that was adorable. And it does have a lot of different like flour mixes in it, but I haven't really looked through it too much yet. Because I think it had a lot of food recipes. And I'm not much of a food cooker. I'm more of a sweets cooker. I gotta Google that. Ratio. Baker's ratio. There are two things that I want in life now. This baker's ratio idea. And then the other thing is I want like a Google Chrome extension. Shut up, Google. I set my Google Home off. I want an extension where when I'm looking for a product, it compares the price and the amount for me, because nothing does that, or I don't think it has that on Google, the Google I use, which is annoying. What, you got a bloody AI chatbot, but you can't give me a thing? Oh god, I won't say the G word or the A word. Forget about that. Because I'm always like going through various websites with like 87 different tabs open, trying to like compare price versus amount to get the best deal, and I hate having to do the math in my head. So I want an extension that's like that. Shopping forums that do that. Oh, that's cool. Just online? Or is it like for your like grocery store? Like, I don't know what Woolworths in Canada is called. I feel like the ACCC, which is like the consumer goods people, I feel like they should do it. They should build that extension. Like a price consumer thing. Can they do that? The threads are analyzing hard drives and toilet paper costs. Yeah, that's why I want an extension where it just like reads like, there's a way to do it. I know that there's a way to do it, because it's essentially like the way that like price low to high would work. It's just that you would need everything to be pulled into one thing, into like one extension. Even if you had to like export it as a CSV or something, if it would just pull all the info to get you the best deal. What I don't understand is why Google isn't doing this, because like, what do they care? They get money from advertising, not from the actual purchases. They don't care if the item that you buy is like $2. Yeah, like a database, so that I can Google like polymer clay, and it can be like, these are the best prices, this is the amount, this is like the time it'll take to get to you, so that you can sort of divvy up like, oh, you know, am I okay paying for something more expensive because it'll arrive tomorrow and it's only giving me like 5 grams of clay less, or do I want the biggest and I don't care if it arrives in like 2 months because it's the cheapest for the most. You know, like when you go to the store and it's like price per litre or price per kilo or whatever, and that's how you make your decision. Because I used to get fooled all the time when the packet of marshmallows was like, this marshmallow packet is $6 AUD, but this one is $3 AUD. And I'd be like, well, of course I'm going to get the $3 AUD. But it turns out that $6 AUD, it's like less money per marshmallow and you get more marshmallows. It just looks more expensive. And that's what I want. That's my life goal. I'm going to write to the ACCC and be like, can you build this extension, please? Someone. Okay, I feel like this little potion bottle looks cute. I kind of want him to have little clouds, but I'm wondering, do I want to make the clouds like out of clay, or do I want them made out of wire and then like filled in with resin? Because that might be cool. Ooh, if I do wire and resin, I can just like paint little skulls in. I want it to be like a spooky love potion kind of brooch. It's getting a little big though. It's gotta be cool. Yeah, I think I'll do it out of resin and wire. Okay. Dear Santa, all I want for Christmas is an app that can compare grocery and clay price. It's true! That is what I want. Is Santa good at coding? Can he do that? It would be so sick. And honestly, even if you had to pay for the extension, I'm down. Just make it cheap. Like, make it affordable. If it's an app, like whatever it is. If it's an extension, if it's an app. I guess like Honey, but without the, you know, how Honey had that scandal, that it was like stealing data. Because I feel like if you just paid for it up front, you don't need to steal data. Yay! Thank you for knowing how to contact Santa. And sending that off to the elves. plot twist, Santa is the ACCC. Yeah, so did they, like, I know that they're persona non grata with people, but did they actually, like, collapse as a company? I'm not gonna lie, I don't care all that much if, like, a company steals my Google search data, because it's, like, it's Google search data, like, I feel like Google had it anyway. But it's definitely messed up that they were, like, not being chill to consumers. I can't remember what they did to consumers. There was like a follow-up. I remember there was the thing where like the influencers who had the code weren't getting their code used, so they weren't actually making money even though they were promoting it, which is pretty rude. But I think that for the consumer perspective, people were like, I don't care so much about that, but then they were selling data or something like that. Data brokerage stuff. I'm not sure. I think they're still around. They lost a lot of confidence in their service. Yeah, and I can imagine they're not going to get much promotion anymore from people because they were being promoted by like big YouTubers, right? So they aren't really going to want to touch that. Although you never know, because I feel like HelloFresh used to be so popular, then they had a scandal. I can't remember what the scandal was, but it wasn't that their food was bad. I know that. It was like labor practices. They had bad labor practices. So all these influencers stopped supporting them, but I've seen them start supporting them again. Maybe they fixed their labor practices? Yeah, it was a catchy extension name. I remembered it. Maybe you weren't getting the best price. Oh, I remember what the scandal was. I saw a Most Critical video, the most recent one with Honey. What did he say? He was looking at a video where a guy was basically like, I run a small business and I have a discount specifically for my friends and family, which is honestly fine. Like, who cares? That mates rates is the thing. But he noticed people were using it and they weren't his friends and family because Honey was just scraping anyone's coupons and offering them. And he was like, I think I've never burped on stream before, so my apologies. I also don't know if that was a burp or just like acid from my soft drink. Wait, I think that is a burp, right? I don't know what burps are, to be honest. Oh yeah, the guy was like, I can't afford to do this. Yeah. This is the worst retelling of this story, but basically, like, this guy was running a small business. And again, like, you're a consumer, maybe you're like, whatever, I want the discount code. But, like, I definitely feel as though that is bad. Do I have a HyperX microphone? No. Why do you ask? I have a microphone that I bought 10 years ago for recording voiceover for YouTube videos, but now I never use that. I use my phone a lot of the time and also my Rode mics. I was trying to think what I use. Oh my god. Oh no, my mic just started to sound underwater. Probably because it's 10 years old. Is it fine now? Do I need to move it closer? Oh, sorry. It might actually be the cord. Is this better or worse? I have a feeling that the cord is a bit messed up. I need to find another one that's long enough. But it's like an annoying micro USB that no one uses anymore, so I don't have that many long ones of them. Well, is it getting better? Hello? Is that better? Silent? Okay. 1 minute. It might come back. Okay. I didn't know what the delay was for the stream and chat and for you to hear. Okay, it is the cord. I will replace that cord after this stream. I will have a look for one. I've got a drawer full of cords. There should be one long, decent micro USB. It wasn't connecting the other day to my computer based on where I put it. So I'm glad it's not the mic. I'm glad that my $60 Amazon mic has lasted like 10 years. That's actually a really good purchase. But I could also put I have like little lav mics that I use for YouTube, so. Oh my god, what is wrong with me today? Oh, this is my stomach. Okay, I'm not burping. I think I could be. I don't really burp much, so I don't know, but I think it's my stomach. I think I'm really hungry. I had breakfast and then I did weights and I haven't eaten since, and that was at like 7 a.m. So it was like the healthiest day I've had in a while. Okay. Unfortunately, Pixels, I think I need to end because I think I need to eat and I need to go to the store so that I can get some snacks so that this doesn't happen again. And also my clays need to kind of dry out a bit before I can finish them and bake them. But thank you so much for joining and chatting. I love when people chat because sometimes I just be talking to myself, and I love when people lurk too, but it's always nice to chat to someone. But yeah, I'll be back soon. I'm a sporadic streamer, but I have a goal to stream at least once a week this year. So if you enjoy crafting content, that's mostly what I'll be doing. Nice to meet you.